Hello, viewers. My name is Golden Arcadia, and today we'll be playing some more Big Grand Order, namely doing the Halloween Rising event. I was not expecting to do the event today. I was going to take a break today, or at least I was going to AFK farm, but then I realized that I was one mission away from the best farming spot, and in order to get it, I would have to keep doing some of the story missions in the actual event. And I had already told myself that I wouldn't really do any of the story missions AFK, outside of streaming. So I decided, well, I might as well stream for today, even if it's an hour and a half. Roughly, it's really late at night. Give me a moment real quick. It's really late at night. I work tomorrow. So I'm probably not going to do the whole 2 hours today. But we're still going to have some fun here. I feel like the camera is like... should be... Let me see if I could work on the camera real quick. Video format. Oh, okay, that seems to work. I can't wait to get my other screen. I ordered another green screen, so that way I could more seamlessly be a part of whatever I'm doing. It's not really like a big issue, anyways, but I do like playing around with the green screen. Anyways, let's get back to this. Ooh, wow! I am not done here. That's great. Give me a moment. Sorry about that. I wasn't expecting I was gonna find some more today. Oh no. Alright, so it's you. I really wish I didn't have to have farm so much sometimes. It's not a particularly interesting event. You know, it's funny I say that because I end up skipping all the text anyways, right? But I can 100% say that my favorite events so far have been the Summer BB. It has been one of the summer events has been one of my favorites, and anything to do with BB. BB is like great. And that we're talking about events outside of the story. I mean, the Garden of Sinners events are always great, but they've only been around like twice. Okay. There's definitely a couple things I want to talk about more in depth. Like, I want to talk about anime more, and I'm thinking about doing a stream around me updating my MAL profile, because I haven't updated it in a while or at all. And I feel like I should have my MAL profile updated. That's probably gonna take like easily like an hour and an hour and a half. It's just looking over what anime I've seen. Okay. That's weird. I didn't get the whole refund back from that. Got my little Ava hat right here. Maybe let some people know that I'm streaming. Oh, yep. Alright. I should be able to like get enough points and like by doing this like twice, and then I'll be able to do the main story of the event. Yeah, I was not gonna stream today. I was gonna take it easy today. I just finished studying for the day. I was maybe going to run the game background while I did something else, but then I realized I didn't have the quest that I needed in order to AFK farm. Not AFK farm, like in order to just be able to farm. Fuck. Which is on day 6 on the Bewitching Forest. I believe that one is the one that gives you like the best materials, or at least according to game price. I might have to do this like 2 more times. Not a big deal. It means I can farm more materials. And like I have to farm this event because I want to get all the craft SSs that have come out, and all the copies for all the Ellies. So I am at disadvantage if I do not do these quests. So I might as well just talk about, you know, the anime I was watching today, because I watch anime every day. So usually my day goes, and I've already mentioned this yesterday, but I go to work, I get home, I eat, and then while I'm eating, I watch some anime, whatever's coming out the day, and then I play gacha games. As sad, as funny, as sad as it is to say. Alright, so today's an episode of 16-Bit Sensation came out, so I watched that. The Eminence in Shadow had an episode that came out today. I watched that too. And let's see. I mean, there's this cutesy series that I'm also watching called what was it called? Man, these anime and these long ass names. Alright, so buckle up. The name of this anime I'm also watching is called I'm Giving This Disgraced Noble Lady I Rescued a Crash Course in Naughtiness. I have no idea. Like, what? It's such a weird title. I guess it's sort of like a rom-com in a way. It's not the greatest series in the world, but I guess it's somewhat entertaining. Ooh. Alright, gonna have to do the mission 1 or 2 more times. I don't want to talk about overall. Like I don't want to go in depth into talking about anime episodes, because I don't want. Let's say you really like anime and you want to watch these things. I don't want to spoil it for you. I'll make some episodes on. I'll make some specific anime episodes, but I want to avoid doing reviews, for examples. It's just not my kind of thing. I'd rather just talk about my experience when it comes to anime. I feel like anime reviews have been done to death like forever ago. That's why nobody wants to review anime anymore. And I don't particularly want to review anime, I just want to talk about anime. Because I never get tired of talking about anime. I live and breathe it. I'm an absolute weeb. And whenever I'm not watching anime, I'm reading manga. Whenever I'm not reading manga, I'm reading light novels. And whenever I'm not reading light novels, I'm either reading web novels or playing these shoujo games. So I'm all in it. I mean, I suppose I could talk about. Let me change the topic point while I'm at it. So we're gonna talk about anime today, just as I have for the past week or so. That's just the one thing I consume the most. Although ironically, I'm not gonna talk about anime now. I'm more so gonna talk about another medium related to anime. So, as I mentioned, whenever I'm not watching anime, I'm reading manga. And if I'm not not reading manga, I'm either doing light novels or visual novels. So I guess I could talk about my unique experience when it comes to like how did I get into visual novels? Because I wasn't originally I thought visual novels was kind of wonky and weird, but I had a circumstance where I was stuck in bed for quite some time, and I had known about visual novels. I remember specifically hearing how I ran into them. I'm pretty sure I had run into like a board that mentioned Kata wa Shoujo. I'm not gonna say the English name because it's pretty huge. But I had downloaded Kata wa Shoujo and tried it, but I thought it was too weird, so I ended up not really like playing it at all. But yeah, I was using a forum called Hua Nobel at the moment, I believe, and I ended up downloading a couple other. I think there was also Hongfire. I don't know if Hongfire is still around. And because I was like, maybe it's just the game that I played. It was just a little too freaky for me, so I figured I'd try something different. And I downloaded this other VN called Snow Sakura. Super old game. I can actually like straight up show you an image of it. Just give me a second, real quick. Okay. All right. So, just a second. So I ended up running into. I ended up downloading this game and Snow Sakura. Just gonna talk about it lightly. Uh Tried it. I also didn't like it, so I decided that visual novels just wasn't the medium for me. But then I had an issue where I ended up staying in bed for like a couple months. I wasn't really like doing well physically, health wise, and in that process, I had decided to start Kata Shoujo over again because I was having I was at that point I was having heart problems. I had I don't particularly remember what it was called now because it's been so long ago. Or yeah, I was having arrhythmia problems, which is like an irregular heartbeat, I believe. Let me just Google that. I want to make sure I'm not talking crap. Um, yeah, it's a problem with the rhythm of your heart. So I had problems with I had arrhythmia problems. I'm not really sure. Nothing really came out of it. They just kind of stopped. And in that time, I got really into visual novels. Well, mostly just because of it. Is anybody? I never use Ashio Doman. What? Main. There we go. Yeah, that's how I ended up getting into visual novels. It was just kind of after I finished Kado Shoujo, I just kind of kept going through it because I was already, because of the unique situation I was placed in and how I could relate to Kato Shoujo, which is kind of fucked up. I ended up getting to get into visual novels. Specifically, I remember I used to really like it because I would fall asleep listening to the soundtracks in the actual game, and that would help me sleep. That would calm me down, and I wouldn't have to focus on the weird heart situation I had going on. Ooh. Just a second. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't particularly remember what I played after Kadowa Shoujo. I think I might have just played Snow Sakura. And I did enjoy it next time around. Because I was a little more predisposed into like giving visual novels a chance. Like what initially turned me off was that I just thought they were weird. And I mean, yeah, they're not your traditional sort of game. Like most people won't really get into visual novels. I'm really glad that it's more popular now. It's more accessible. Because back then, the only way you could play visual novels back then would be to essentially buy a legit copy and then hope that do some research, check if someone had a translation, made a translation project, so you could, if you bought a legit copy, you could patch it. I don't like this. Damn it, I hit the wrong one. No. Now I'm really into the visual novel rabbit hole. Like really into it. I've read probably, off the top of my head, like thinking about as many novels I've read, if I had to tell you, I've probably read around close to 50 to 70 plus novels. Like I've read so many trash novels that also, because I'm into really shitty shit too. And it's a lot. Damn. I don't think I'll make this one. Ooh. Oh, come on. Yeah, we're screwed. Oh, I forgot to put the music on loop. Oh. Alright, let's see who's getting knocked out. Orioni Slayer. Oh. I did the order of it wrong. Should have done yeah, it's alright. Oh no. Jesus Christ. No, I got Ashia Dolan. While I'm in the vein of visual novels, guess we could talk about. Just leave me a moment. I haven't read this guy's skills. In the vein of talking about visual novels, right? Suppose I've already talked about which one was the first I played, so I might as well just talk about which ones are my favorite right now, right? And I can 100% say favorite visual novels. I'd probably say Move. At first, it took me a while to catch into it, but once you get to the extra world, it's such a compelling and beautiful story, tragic story, if anything. But man, it really grips you. And there's also the Grisaya franchise, and that's something else. Okay. Oh, there we go. That's what I was trying to go for. Yeah, no. Top like 5, I could say. Probably Move, Grisaya, like the entire franchise of Grisaya. Crap. There's one novel I read last year that really stuck to me. I don't know the English name. Just give me a moment. I'll Google it. So the English name is Alcana for Rhythm Across the Blue. Not what I was expecting at all. I never thought that a fictional sport could be so entertaining. Great music, and the reason why I'm so into visual novels and whatnot, I just think it's the perfect medium in between visuals, music, and writing. Yeah, sure. In a lot, like visual novels have a lot of smut. Like there's a bunch of smut, namely in the eroge category of like visual novels. Sometimes it's really just dumb. Like you're not really reading a visual novel for like any sort of like super what's the word I'm looking for, like you can't really compare real books and real novels to visual novels, because visual novels will tend to be a little bit more tend to be inferior in like most capacities. It's not a lot. I guess what I'm trying to say, it's visual novels are not literally literacy masterpieces. They're just really games. Like the quality of them is really what you could find in a standard game. Well, they're really good. They have the greatest balance between story, because they're all story. Like the only like you will, for the most part, play visual novels for story. Have great music for the most part. Story, music, and a lot of visual novels have some really awesome visuals. I've only mentioned 3 up till now. My favorite visual novels. Man, I'm just sleepy, so I'm trying to think about like all the ones I've played up till now. There's so many of them, I just can't like condense them all into one. So let's see. I've done one route in the Fate route. I have read the Fate visual novel and I've done one route, which is mostly just Saber's route. Oh yeah, Steins Gate. I forgot Steins Gate was a visual novel, and I did play Steins Gate and Steins Gate Zero. Oh man, it's so good. I really just kind of have to go through them and look at whatever, like, look at all the list of all visual novels. I played a pretty significant amount of them. I could definitely add Steins Gate. Like, Steins Gate was absolutely amazing. Had me on the edge of my seat. Made me cry so much too. Right. I almost forgot about the Utawareru Mono. The song of just give me a moment. I don't think this one particularly has like an English name. Which is nope. Utawareru Mono was such a wonderful novel too. Okay. Let's see. Can't believe I have to bring up a list on visual novels in order to remember visual novels at the moment. And ironically, last visual novel I played was like a month ago, which was Future Radio and Artificial Pigeons. It was a pretty decent one. I'm gonna have to open up a... Yes, you have stories like Ace Attorney and whatnot, but most of the visual novels I played are on PC. Twisting Night. I have not played Clanad. マジで私は Majikoi. Majikoi was so good. I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to look up Majikoi now if I want to talk about it, but Majikoi. And I suppose that I should like mention all the other ones I have talked about. Like, I'm talking about visual novels as if you know what visual novels are, but it's anybody who tunes in to watch the stream. Right, these are visual novels, right? Majikoi was such a great visual novel. It had so many references. I believe like one of the characters goes Super Saiyan, and it's super funny. I already showed Snow Sakura Katawa Sojo visual novel. So this is Katawa Sojo. I'm not really gonna talk about I give you the English name for it. You can figure that out on yourself. And move. The thing I like the most about Move is that if well, I'm kind of spoiling it right now, right? But so this is Move. When you finish Move, there is an alternative ending where they go into a different world. He goes into an alternate world, the protagonist, and he has to fight aliens and whatnot. And essentially, it turns into this, and it comes out so much out of left field. It's such a subversion of expectations. It's amazing. Like the original Move, the actual visual novel part before the extra scenario was super boring. I don't remember how I even like went through it. You have to beat 2 routes before you can try doing the extra. But after you do the extra, like once you start the extra, there's like 3, I believe there's like 3 games. I believe so. It's been a while. I played yes, this is what I wanted to get. This is the best farming quest. So you know what? I'm just gonna farm it for now. I'm probably not gonna stream tomorrow because I got to study. Thinking about taking a practice test on Friday to see if I could take the actual test on Saturday. But anyways, let's get back into this. What was I talking about? Yeah, I was talking about Move. Absolutely beautiful game. I did say I didn't want to make reviews, but if I had to review something, I'd probably review Move, just because it's it then recently got an anime too, but unfortunately I can't really recommend it to anybody. It's not really the kind of show that's really easy to get into. Okay. And unfortunately, Move the anime starts after the extra. So there's the Move game, then you have the extra scenario. Once you beat the extra scenario, there comes another game called Move Alternative, which is the ultimate timeline, essentially. So there's 2 games actually, because the extra and Move are like one single thing. Thing is that Move the original story is somewhere around 30 to 40 hours, and Move Extra is about 80 hours. It's kind of insane how much they packed into something that I'm pretty sure they weren't sure if it was going to like be an actual thing. Or at least I think that was the how it ended up going. They had a Kickstarter like quite some time ago while I was in high school. I really wanted to like pledge for it and pledge like $200 because they were like offering, if you pledge $200 you get a hoodie. And I would love to show like some more of Move, but I gotta be careful how I show it because Move is an actual eroge. To slightly talk about eroges do tend to have sexual content in it, or as I would call them, smut. They're like they have smut in them. So quite some time ago, like early visual novels, specifically like Fate did this. The original Fate Stay Night visual novel is actually an eroge, and not like it's a visual novel, but it's not a. It does have sexual content into it because they were not confident that the game would sell on story and interest alone, so they added smut into it because they figured it'd sell, and they weren't wrong about it. If you look up Fate, namely get Fate Grand Order. Fate Grand Order have so much X-rated content. It's kind of insane. I think it is more X-rated content than actual content. It's kind of crazy. But that's kind of beside the point. My point is, right, yeah, eruge, there's different kinds of novels. I'll like talk about it in detail at some point. But yeah, oh yeah, I started talking about Machikoi, which is like one of the novels I played. Tsukihime, Tsukisaya. Man, really have to go through visual novel games on PC and Steam. Oh yeah, back when I started playing visual novels, they weren't like, they really weren't on Steam. Let's see, Clockwork Leyline. Let's see. Visual novel tier list. Nope. Man, I really have to sit down and just kind of look at like a whole bunch of visual novels. Oh yeah, there's Gigi Senju no Mao, which was an interesting villain orientated visual novel. That was kind of interesting. I'm not gonna show images. Otherwise, I'd stop farming. Sari no Kuni. Right, there was an extra of this I didn't finish, but it was so good. Oh man, Ever 17 Out of the Infinity. Now I can definitely talk about Ever 17. It's one of the it's a visual novel that I absolutely detest because I love. I absolutely love it because of what the visual novel does, and just talking about what it does is in and of itself a spoiler, and I highly recommend anybody to play it. Ever 17 is such a wonderful story, but it will leave you feeling kind of empty because of the nature of the story. I can't talk about too much about it, but it's definitely one of those novels that I would say that if you like visual novels, try it. Ever 17 is amazing. Yeah, all the key visual novels are good. Let's see. I'm always constantly looking for visual novels to play. Oh, I mean, hey, Doki Doki Literature Club is technically a visual novel. Alright, so I've been talking about visual novels for like 30 minutes at this point. Well, not 30, like 20-ish. I would happily keep talking about it, right? I just have to sit down and organize my thoughts a little bit. Because I'm so tired that I just can't bring up information all that easily. I would have to do the same as the like MAL thing I was talking about. I have to sit down and organize just to think about, list every visual novel that I've ever played so I can properly talk about it. But yeah, I've been playing visual novels since around 2013, 2014. And I'm never going to stop. It's a medium that I absolutely adore. And I go back to all the time. I alternate between... When I talk about doing, like when I do anime, because I like playing anime and I like consuming anime content, and I like playing video games. But I definitely like talking about anime more than I like talking about video games. So much so it's evident because the last couple of streams, whenever I talk about anime, I don't really shut up about it. And even though my thoughts are a little jumbled and all over the place, I can happily talk about it all day. But also, actually, I'm going to jump into light novels now for a second, because light novels is another medium that has influenced my life in ways that I never expected it to. So, the reason why I got into visual novels was because of Sword Art Online. So, I don't remember what year it was, but I do remember finishing reading Nejima. Nejima is a manga by famous mangaka Akamatsu King, who is now a politician. That's really funny. He made things like Love Hina, absolute classic masterpiece. I'd definitely put it in one of the 7 wonders of anime. But yeah, I had just finished reading Nejima, and I was hiding the hype of it. I was like, yeah, I want to read some more magical stuff, but there's kind of nothing really like it. Like, if we're talking about fantasy at that point, like you had things like Fairy Tail back when I finished reading that, but Fairy Tail wasn't really great. That's besides the point. What I wanted to talk about with light novels, right? So I finished reading Nejima. My brother comes into my room and he's like, "Yo, if you were like stuck in a game, right, and you had to pick you had to pick like a class for to play, but you can't choose magic." And I'm like, "What do you mean I can't choose magic in a MMORPG, right?" Like, I always love doing I'd love picking glass cannons in MMORPG, so I'd always go for magic. But if I can't choose magic, I guess I would go for like a rogue sort of thing, so I could use like knives or bows and whatnot. So that was the question that like started my how I got into Sword Art Online. So my brother recommends me this anime called Sword Art Online, which was currently airing. That means it was 2012, I think. So yeah, Sword Art Online came around 2012, 2013, roughly. And I was not interested at all in it. I thought it was dumb. I had just finished Nejima. I didn't want to read some dumb. I don't want to watch some dumb fantasy story with no magic. That sounded really stupid. But one night, I decided, you know what? It's 7 o'clock. I didn't have anything to do with that night, and I believe I had school the next day, and I just started watching it, and I got hooked instantly. I believe I watched there had like back when I watched Sword Art, there was already 7 episodes coming out that were out fully, and after I watched the 7 episodes, I had the habit of, well, if there's nothing else that I can watch, I might as well just see if it has a manga and I can just read it, right? And to my surprise, there was less content on the manga than in the actual anime. Like, it didn't cover the manga at that back then didn't cover the had not covered the, you know, like up to the 7 episodes that the anime had covered. And I was like, what the hell? That doesn't make any sense. I thought this was original, like this was a manga, and that's where the existence of visual novels was made, not visual novels, light novels was made clear to me. And so the first light novel I ever read was actually Sword Art Online. Hence why I hold Sword Art Online to a high esteem, despite me knowing it's a pretty mid story. It's pretty bad. But after reading the light novel and getting my hands on the actual light novel, I used to read Sword Art Online on a site called Bakatsuki, because Sword Art Online did not have an English physical release back then. So you couldn't really read it unless somebody translated it. And that's how I ran into Sword Art Online. I read up to Gun Gale. No, I kept going and I read up to the Alicization arc. Like this was essentially like I read this throughout the year after I watched the like the episodes of Sword Art Online. So I read up to Alicization, which was out at that time, like the beginning of Alicization. I was blown away, right? It was my first time. I was never really the reading kind of person outside of manga. Like I've read a whole bunch of manga, but I was never really into books all that much. Like I read a couple science fiction books here and there, but they were really few and far between. And Sword Art Online essentially revitalized my love for reading. And which I could definitely talk about that the light novel of Sword Art Online is actually a lot better than the anime in its entirety. You get more context, you get more details, but overall, part of why I really like Sword Art Online, and by the way, Sword Art Online is made by Kawahara Reiki, is because I really enjoyed reading the afterwards. Actually, I actually have most of the Sword Art Online novels physically. At some point, I'll take a picture of them. I was thinking about going to my room and looking for it and just kind of showing it on camera, but I really shouldn't stop to do that, at least not right now. I could definitely make a video on it at some point. But yeah, that is how I got into light novels. And I got into light novels while I was still in high school. Early high school. This is around mid high school, more or less. Yes. And what ended up happening is that after Sword Art Online, it just kind of snowballed, and I kept reading more and more light novels. And I remember my dad used to get these pirated anime DVDs, because back then the only way to watch anime was through getting it through copies, because Crunchyroll wasn't really a thing. Crunchyroll was kind of a new thing still. Streaming anime wasn't really like, you could watch anime, you could download it through LimeWire, like, try to see it through a couple like sketchy sites, but there isn't really a way to watch anime properly. Like Crunchyroll came around when I was in high school, but before then, I've been watching anime all my life. Okay. But anyways, I think I lost my train of thought. Yeah, there was this one anime that my dad got me on a DVD called. The DVD is still right there over in my room, in one of my shelves. The anime called Chrome Shell Regios, and I was super into it. But I was also super sad to know that manga-wise, it was the same thing as Sword Art Online, where there was an anime, and I believe there was a manga, but the manga did not cover as much as the anime. So the only way to keep up with the story would have been to read the actual light novel, which was based on. And I'm not sure if I remember when Bombshell Regios ended. I still to this day have not finished it. I believe I read like a little bit into it, but I had just, at the point that I started reading it, I had already graduated from high school. I was working on my way to go to college, and so I had stopped reading it, and I definitely have to go back and read it now, just so I could talk about it more. I've never wanted to get into Clannad because I don't want to cry. I don't deliberately like getting into things so I could cry. I just jumped back into visual novels without thinking about it. Sorry about that. But yeah, light novels. Light novels are great, right? I loved reading light novels, right? Most of like anime adaptations right now come from like light novels, right? I've read stuff. I've read Harumiya Suzumiya. I absolutely fucking loved it. I've read Arifureta. I love Arifureta. I've read Asami Spider So What. Absolutely love that too. Bison Wolf is a light novel. Like Mushoku Tensei is a light novel. The Saga of Tanya the Evil. I have so many light novels over in my bookcase. So many of them. Because after I started reading Sword Art Online, I just really got into it. Snafu, my romantic comedy. Romantic comedies wrong as expected. Oh, that was one novel that really got to me. So throughout a period of high school, I very cringily called myself the name of the, well, not in person, right? I did this through Facebook, but I would call myself through Facebook Hikigaya Hachiman. Oh boy, that was a period of my life. That was a period. I got the first volume of Mushoku. I really love reading visual novels and manga, but not visual. Light novels and manga, but I tend to just collect the first novel unless I really, really, really like something. I won't get the full thing. Otherwise, I'd never have space for everything. At some point, I'll snap a picture of my bookcase and just show everybody. Maybe post it on Twitter. Maybe post it on YouTube itself. It's definitely something I could do. Let's see. Classroom of the Elite. I did start reading that some time ago. Oh wow. 86. I know that 86 has a novel. I just haven't sat down to actually read it. But I've been meaning to because I really, really, really enjoy 86. Oh no, the game is lagging again. Give me a second, let me try. I'm trying to figure out. Like, I'm looking at my processes so I can see why I'm lagging. I just can't see what it is. I think it's Opera. It doesn't make any sense though. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Ooh. Oh, so yeah, look, for the next couple of days, until the, like, probably the last 2 days, I'll continue the story of this. But I really want to farm as much as possible because I want to get all those materials. Not materials, everything on the event store. Because there are a couple of craft instances that I would really benefit from having. apart from the fact that I also wanna like max limit broken some of the characters, namely some of the Ellie's. Oh, Overlord is also a novel, by the way. Overlord is so good. Reiki Kawahara has actually made 3 light novels. Although the third one hasn't really been all that popular, but he has had Excel World that came before Sword Art Online, I believe, and then I'm actually not sure. I actually believe that he made Sword Art Online first, and then came Excel World, because Sword Art Online is what made him popular. But Sword Art Online and Excel World, I believe, are in the in the same universe. Wow. So I've talked about light novels, I talked about visual novels, so I guess we should probably talk about manga. And the absolutely ridiculous amount of manga that I read. So I don't always read manga. I don't read manga all the time. I have moments in my life where I do something, I stop doing it for a couple months, and then I obsessively and furiously just start reading so much manga, because I'm a really fast reader. Now, usually what ends up actually happening is that I can read whatever's going on super fast. I don't particularly actually appreciate what's on the panels. That's a me thing. I just like getting through everything really fast. But on the flip side, I'll also read some like stories multiple times. Okay. Give me a second. I'm gonna lower the volume for the game a little bit. All right, that works. I just wanted the Zooey background. It's a lot more important that you can hear my voice and whatever I'm talking about at the moment. But yeah, manga. How did I even get to manga? That's a real good question, but it's definitely through anime. I don't remember which one was my first manga, but if I had to like name the one that got me into manga, I would definitely say it's Dokura-chan. Bludgeoning Angel Dokuro-chan really got me in the manga to the point where the manga was incomplete at that time, and the full translation wasn't there. And I actually read, like, I downloaded EPUB, and I quote unquote read up until the end of the manga in Raw. Sure, I couldn't tell what was going on, but like I was so entertained by it. So I could definitely say that that got me into manga. My manga journey is a little bit more blurry than my anime journey, though, because the one medium that I blast through the fastest is definitely manga. I read so much manga. I've had, if I could count the amount of time that like total that I've read manga, there's been so many days back in summer of middle school that I could count. Me just spending my entire summer, I wake up, I'd read manga, and then I'd go to sleep. Just like going obsessing with RuneScape back then. I used to be really obsessed over RuneScape. I remember spending an entire summer farming to get 99 fire making, and now I hate RuneScape. I don't hate it. It's just I never want to level anything up ever to 99 ever again. But going back to manga, right? Um, that's kind of hard to say, right? Just straight up cannot remember. I've read most manga. I've read Naruto. I haven't read Bleach, and I haven't read One Piece. But I have read. I read so much where most of the things that I like, if I don't like it in the first and second chapter, I won't keep reading it. But if I keep reading it, well, I'll remember it, right? And most of the stuff I read does end up getting animated, and I'm very happy about that. Let me give me a moment. Last anime I read that I was sure that's definitely gonna get an anime is Dan 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 Dan. I definitely know that's gonna get an anime at some point because of course it's gonna get an anime at some point. All right, if I could go and look at my I use manga reading apps and whatnot, right? It's but how I discovered things like the subgenre of isekai, yeah, subgenre in isekai of what I would call the villainous subgenre. I actually found through reading manga. Right? I uh, I ran into the manga and then surprise, 2-3 years later, the anime actually gets announced. Like the anime actually comes out. That's been a running theme. Most of the things I read end up getting animated. That makes me very happy. The manga that I really obsessed over and I read so many times. I don't have the full collection. There's unfortunately I can't get the I can get the individual chapters, but they had a like a full chapter, like a full collection of chapters in like one single book called the Omnibus, and those are not printed anymore. So getting them is pretty difficult. But I could, if I really wanted to, I could definitely get all the chapters, all 300 and something chapters. I found Eminence and Shadow through manga, so I was really happy when it got animated. Let's see. I ran into One Punch Man before it was an anime. The original one adaptation, the original one version. I've done an hour. I probably do like I'm gonna do 30 more minutes. So, again, I have to work tomorrow. Overall, just going over like a sort of manga I've read. One manga I never expected to get animated. It was actually Redo of Healer. I don't remember how I ran into Redo of Healer. I guess I was talking about Agamaku Ken though. Sorry about that. Nejima. Nejima has been the one manga that I've read so many times by Akamatsu Ken. If I were to have to pick a favorite manga, it would probably be that one. I just like the tonal shift that happens when the series starts, when the manga starts. It seems like they're going for this rom-com harem sort of thing. It's very light-hearted, and then at some point in the story, around 3-4 arcs, maybe 5 arcs into the story, there is a tonal shift where the manga turns into a happy-go-lucky harem sort of anime into a battle manga. And I had read Love Hina before this. I didn't know that Akamatsu Ken had made Nejima, and I didn't expect them to make a battle manga. I was expecting him to make another Love Hina. So it was a very pleasant surprise when he did make it. It was really good. Now it does have a sequel. It's called UQ Holder. It's not as good. It's alright at best. Oh, right. So there's just all the. I believe there's this manga I've read so long ago. Let's see. First chapter came out 2019. Dosanko Gyaru is Mega Cutie. Oh man. I believe recently they announced it's getting an anime next year. So I'm super happy about it. I guess I could look up what I'm talking about. Give me a second. Dosanko Mega Cutie. Dosanko Gyaru. Alright, so it's just a second. OBS. So this right here, Dosanku Gyaru Mega Cutie. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful manga. I've gone through this one so many times, and the art style for this is absolutely amazing. Absolutely, it's so detailed. It's another one of those manga that really makes me want to go to Hokkaido. Let's see what else I could. Tensei Shitara Slime Data Ken. The Slime series, that's another one that I originally found through manga, although it is a light novel. Oh, Mushoku Tensei itself is one of those that I found through manga, and then I found out it's a light novel. I've actually been reading it recently. I've been a fan of light novels for a very long time, but considering I alternate between all of the mediums, I know I know quite a bit about them, but I'm not like fully into them because I never just choose to pursue one of them. Like I'll read light novels, I'll do one of them at a time obsessively, and then I'll jump to the other one. Oh yeah, this is one of the one. The World of Otome is tough for mobs. I talked about this I believe last stream. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, I found that through manga. One that I'm actually expecting, I will not be able to show you anything about it. So the only way I'm only able to talk about it. So everybody's seen Akame ga Kill. Akame ga Kill is one of those anime that like everybody remembers. Whether you love it or hate it because of the different ending in the anime, or I read the manga and you really enjoyed it. So Takahiro, which is the mangaka for Akame ga Kill, does actually have another series that he's working on, and it's called Mato Seihei no Slave. And I'm absolutely certain this is going to get an adaptation at some point. I will not show you anything on it though, because it's pretty dirty. I don't really want to like. First of all, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. There's definitely gonna be, if I Google it, there's just definitely a bunch of things that's gonna pop up, and I don't want to like deal with that. But it's definitely gonna get an adaptation at some point. So the one thing I like about manga as opposed to anime does have a whole bunch of filters in place in order for in order for because manga and anime are completely different in the sense that manga can come out super raw because you either publish manga through through publishers in an official capacity, but I've also read a whole bunch of manga. Some of them aren't necessarily published. Some of them can be just uploaded into a site, and that's a way to read it. So there's anime does come with the occasional censoring. Manga receives less of that treatment. Isekai Onji, another one that I really ran into, and I've loved it ever since I ran into it. Let's see. Manga is just one of that sort of thing that I have to do the same as like the mal and visual novel and maybe the light novel thing. I'd have to sit down and list down all of the manga that I've read. I've read such a ridiculous amount that it's so hard. It's so hard to keep track of. There's a couple of manga that I would love to see an animation of them, but then get adapted. But they're definitely not going to get adapted because of these certain topics or names that are like associated and used in the manga. Like smut is one thing. I could definitely see smut getting anime adaptation. Like not smut isn't like a manga. I'm just talking about like something that's naughty, dirty, or pervy. Sure, that'll get adapted. They'll probably just get censored. But when we're talking about more gory and grotesque, yeah, sure, there have been some anime that are like super gory and super grotesque. Obviously not to the name, usually not to the degree of the original source. But some of these are just straight up insulting, and I don't expect these to get animated ever. Okay, let's go for another one. Yeah, there's a couple ridiculous ones that might actually get some sort of adaptation. I don't think this one's gonna get one. I haven't seen an update in forever. There was this one manga I was reading called Cross-Dressing Pandemic. It's kind of weird, and I could see why it stopped. Let's see. Vigilantes has been wow. So My Hero Academia has a side manga, side story called Vigilantes. I'm not sure if they announced if it's getting a an adaptation, but I would love to see an adaptation on it. Because Koichi, the main protagonist of Vigilantes, to me is just so much more enjoyable than Deku. Actually, I still sometimes go back. Sometimes I'll see an adaptation for an anime. Recently, for example, Wakusei no Samidare. Let me look up the English name for this. Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer had an adaptation, I believe this year. I think so, or last year. And like, I'll be honest, the adaptation was pretty shit. That's a pretty old manga. And because of the adaptation, I decided to check out the manga. It's a completed manga, and I do not regret running into it, like reading it at all. Such a great manga. Such a great manga. And then we could talk about things like in the same manga category, you know, there is different Asian mangas. Like for example, there's manhwa, which is Korean manga. I have been dipping into that recently. Namely, there's this one adaptation for a Korean anime that's called Lookism. And through a recommendation, like a friend recommended me I should read the manga, and I was super into it. I'm still reading it today. We're talking about it's around 400 and something chapters. Man. So I read a whole bunch of manga, as I mentioned before, and I would really love to see. I've come to the conclusion that if enough time passes, most manga does actually end up getting an adaptation, especially nowadays. Okay, so I've been talking about anime for about an hour on stream at this point. Oh boy. I'm thinking about maybe jumping into a different topic. I'm too tired to think about another topic at the moment, especially when I'm going to end the stream in about 15 minutes. But sure. I'm just going to change the topic point to gaming. I'll keep it broad so I could just talk about whatever. I mean, I've been talking about gaming for the past couple of streams, but you know, it never hurts to go back into it. So we'll talk about it. Not too long ago, I think it was a couple days ago, uh, Kong, the game, came out. Let's see, what's the full name of the game? Is Kong game. Go Island, the King Kong game. It's very bad. It's really bad, and it's possibly even worse than the Gollum game. And if I am not mistaken, the studio that made the Gollum game went under after the Gollum game. So let's see what ends up happening to the Skull Island Kong game devs. I don't even know who these people are, but it's insane how these IPs keep getting lent out all willy nilly with no respect to like you have to do some sort of research before you like hand out your IP to a random studio, right? Skull Island, Rise of Kong. It's bafflingly bad. It's so bad I might actually download it and play it. Just because I think it would be funny. Just to stream myself playing the game and talking shit over it. So the developer is Iguanabi. Oh, it's a Chilean. Okay. These people have been around since 2014. That's crazy. G.I. Joe Operation Blackout. Oh, that's insane. They made games for PC, Vita, PlayStation Vita, Tango. I don't even know what Tango is. Augmented reality platform? What? 2016. Made games for the Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One. I thought these people came out of left field. They made Skull Island Kong Rise of Kong, and I am worried about them because as there's definitely a spotlight on them at the moment. Oh, crap. Just give me a second. There's a spotlight on them because, well, it's. I think it's probably going to end up being the worst game of the year. It's insane. Like, I've seen clips and pieces of it, right? And well, I've never seen someone so blatantly just so this is cutscene in the game, or at least it's, I guess it's supposed to be a cutscene where Kong is like screaming at one of the dinosaurs, right? And when it cuts to the dinosaur, it's just a PNG. I've never seen anybody else ever like do that. It's insane. Like the quality of the game is like really, really down. Like it's, I don't even know if that's I can't. It's definitely not a AAA game, but it's definitely also like I've seen some really shitty games produce some better quality stuff. It's insane. I'm still on the fence, or at least I'm still thinking about what game I want to play after this, whether it be Sea of Thieves or I end up going to Cyberpunk. I know Lords of the Fallen is going to take quite a little bit before I actually start playing it. I'm just not really in a hurry to play it. Chances are I'll play with my brother at some point. And it really just kind of depends. I ordered the Quest 3. I'm still waiting to get it. So I had it sent it over to my brother, and then my brother's going to send it over to me, but he hasn't been able to send it yet. So when I get my Quest 3, I definitely want to play around with it. Maybe I'll see if I can stream with it. Because there's definitely a couple things that I would love to share. I'd love to play Doom 3 and record my experience of playing Doom 3. And I'd also love to play Resident Evil 4, not the remake, but the VR version. Although I do think that the Resident Evil 4 remake does also have a VR mod. So we can try that out. This game has been absolutely full of games. Absolutely full. I'm probably like the year is going to end and I won't finish my list of games that I wanted to play. So I'm definitely very happy with this year in game. I don't know if I would say that this year's been the best year for gaming. I'm still on the fence about that because last year Elden Ring came out, I think, right? Has it been a year or two? I don't remember at this point. I still keep going back to Elden Ring. We still haven't gotten the DLC for Elden Ring, so at some point we're going to jump back into that. Armored Core came out this year, and I'm really happy that they revitalized the franchise. And I'm happy that they're probably going to work on Armored Core 7. Life of Lies of P just came out, and although I have mixed feelings about it, I can't deny that I've definitely enjoyed it. And then I definitely want to play it again. Actually, had it not been for the fact that I started streaming, I probably would have done No Game Plus already. Because considering I try to stream everything I play now, I'm a little bit more meticulous about it because I would want to record my experiences. Cyberpunk is definitely gonna be one of those where I'm definitely wonder how I'm going to stream it. I know it's streamable. I just have no idea. There's some games that I'm not really sure how I would stream. Yeah, sure. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, right? Like, just there is a streamer mode in the game, but I do remember some time ago that some copyrighted music would still get through. I'm sure it's not an issue anymore. And besides, I could also possibly just turn off the music and put my own music over it, right? And I know there is a nudity filter, so I don't have to worry too much about nudity just accidentally recording nudity on the stream and getting banned over it. I really played Cyberpunk to death, so I'm definitely a little bit hesitant about going through it again and doing everything all over again. But I definitely should because you know 2.0 came out and the DLC also came out, so it's a fresh new experience. I also ended up getting, I think I got all in. If I didn't get all endings, I got like 2 out of 4 or 3 out of 4. I don't think I got the Fear the Reaper ending. Alright. I think I'm halfway through this. Yeah. It's 600. I don't think I'll end up doing more than 2 days of farming before I can get everything that's here. I'm definitely just looking at all of the craft essences more than anything. I already have an aerial drive in at level 100, so having a second one would definitely be super beneficial. Oh, now this is cute. Wizard and priest. Alright, let's read all the craft essences. 3-star craft essence, 3-star craft essence. Trick or treat, it's 3-star craft essence. I could go without some of these. I have you though. I don't think I have you maxed out. Hero Ellie's Adventure. Okay. Oh, but I definitely don't have you. And Peace Strength, we get a battle at 30% charge, so that's will be a 50% charge when I max limit break it. Made in Halloween. This isn't half back because this will probably be 100% once I put max limit break it. I'm gonna get some of these. I think I already have you maxed out, so I'd have to get you, and then figure out how I can get more copies of Cinderella. Which I think I might be able to level up Cinderella. Let's figure that out. Yeah, I could definitely level up Cinderella. All right, let's see what her art is. Oh, it's cute.
どうかしらマスター。美しさと可憐さのあまり言葉もないってとこかしらね。そう、世界で一番美しく可憐な
I'm glad there's at least 5 different versions of it, Elizabeth Bathory.
かぼちゃの馬車に同乗する権利をあげてよ。さあ、チェイテ城で観客のみんなが待っているわ。今夜はオールナイトのスーパーオペラよ。
Okay. All right, Max.
おひ
And there's also you. All right. All right. Level 80 max. Yes. There we go.
そろそろ
But anyways, folks, I should probably get going because I need to go to sleep. So thank you for tuning in, whether it be on stream or after the stream is over. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and stay tuned. Probably not going to stream tomorrow or the next day, probably. Let's see. Keep posted on Twitter. But anyways, thanks, folks. All right. See ya.